There we go. Very good evening to all of you. Thank you for coming to our Wednesday evening call. We are 7 weeks before, and I've said that before we started recording for the purpose of the recording. That's 7 weeks, everybody, T minus 7 weeks. And we will be gathering in Manchester, getting ourselves set and ready to take to the stage for Be Inspired. And when it comes to taking to the stage, about this point in the proceedings, the question in the chat start to turn to not what are you talking about, but what are you wearing? And so it is with great pleasure this evening that I'm going to introduce a very dear friend of mine, a celebrity stylist and a fabulous person and Be Inspired alumni who has felt all of the feels that you are feeling right now. So you are in very, very good company. I'm going to hand over to the gorgeous and the very, very talented Shell Showette. Hello, love.
Hello, everybody. And it would have been around about this time last year. We were gearing up for when I was going to take to the stage, so I can genuinely know exactly where you're feeling, everybody. So tonight we are going to delve into and answer all your questions. I want it to be as interactive as possible. So if you have questions, like throw them at me. If you have any worries or any blocks coming up around what you're going to wear or what's suitable to wear or anything, just throw them at me. That's what I'm here for. Everyone will come at it from a different direction. I've got some slides to share with you, some tips, some tricks from all the places, and a little introduction as to me. So I'll get started when you're ready, Danny.
We are ready. So just as an FYI, Shell, we are a mixed group. So it's not just women that we're speaking to this evening in terms of what it is that we're wearing. So just bear that in mind, because normally we're sort of a full female cast. We are not this time, much to my great pleasure. So I'm really, really happy. But just bear that in mind when you're talking everybody through.
No problem at all. To be honest with you, since the last time I gave this little talk to your lovely lot, I've done it several times over to mixed groups. So that works out perfect. Makes
sense. Perfection. Fabulous. I shall put myself on mute then. And I'm going to enjoy my protein yogurt.
Anna, could I please have the facility to share? Thank you. Give me a mo, Pete. While
Can I just say I'm loving the new hair color, Shell?
Thank you. I've gone this color, then back to dark, then back to this. So, yep, I'm embracing the blonde again.
It's the joy of having short hair, isn't it? You can be a chameleon.
Yes, definitely. And it's one of my things. It's my kind of, I love to change it up as much as possible.
Your Madonna moment.
Yes, my Madonna moment, definitely. Okay, here we go, P. Here we go. So, quick introduction as to what we're going to be doing tonight. It's all going to be about your style and your stage with myself, Shell Showette. Who am I? As Danny said, I am an alumni and Be Inspired speaker, but I'm also featured in Huffington Post, Yahoo Style, BBC. I'm an international stylist, coach and speaker, and co-author two times over now. And I have worked with hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands now, of women to help them to nail their personal style, their unique personal style. But I work especially with entrepreneurs, speakers, and professionals to nail their style so that they can take to the stage of life and look and feel more stylish, more confident, and ultimately become more visible in life and business. Because I know from personal experience, as well as working with a multitude of clients, that when you actually start showing who you are through your clothes and using it as a tool for both self-care and communication tool, it actually works as such a powerful communication tool and actually helps boost your confidence and give you almost a way to ground yourself and a tool to use to help you step into the voice that you're trying to use when it comes to going on stage. So today we're going to cover style confidence, colours, patterns, things to avoid, and stage secrets. But we're also going to take any of your fears, any of your worries, and also any questions that you have that are personal to yourself. Please don't be worried about popping them in and sharing them. Please put your hands up or take yourself off mute and ask those questions when they come up. The more interactive we are, the more you'll get out of the whole experience. Okay, so let's just dive straight into it, because I know a Wednesday evening, there's lots to cover and you're 7 weeks out now. So when we talk about taking to the stage, we want you to take to the stage and we want you to shine. We want your talk to be as fluid and as natural and as comfortable and as impactful as possible. And one of the things that I know firsthand that can stand in the way of you feeling your very best and your absolute star and to shine from that stage is when you've got an outfit that maybe is a bit too tight, or you're wearing underwear that is hurting or irritating, or maybe you decide to wear some new shoes but you haven't worn them in and they're pinching, or you're trying to be somebody you're not. You've seen an outfit on somebody else and you go, oh, that's what I'll do, I'll wear that, or I'll create something similar. And then all of a sudden, when it comes to taking to the stage, you don't feel like you. I'm going to stop sharing for a moment. 2 seconds. Pause it. And who, if anybody, has had any experience where they've worn an outfit that that doesn't gel with them or doesn't represent them, and has had an experience where their outfit has interfered with their ability to communicate? Has anyone ever had that experience before? Yeah, I could see some people saying yes.
I totally have. When I was in corporate, I wore shirts, button-up shirts, and they were the least comfy thing, and they were the least me thing that I've ever trained in, that I ever like worked in. Like when Tommy wore his prom dress. Yes, Tommy. But yeah, it really did. And again, like Tommy wearing his prom dress, probably a perfect example. Tommy wins that one.
Definitely.
It did look good.
Yeah, but it did.
It did. It didn't feel nice, but it looked very nice.
Fiona, yes, I can get a copy of the slides over to Danny if you want a copy of them. It's not a problem. But most of the presentation is conversational. So they just kind of let us delve into a subject more. So when I'm talking about wanting you to shine, my biggest ambition for you to come away from this workshop, this little web class, is for you to connect with whatever you're going to wear and make sure that it's you. Make sure that it represents you on that stage, and that you don't fall down the rabbit hole of trying to be anything apart from yourself, because that will give you the biggest boost and the biggest opportunity to be yourself and to really be able to tune into your audience and tune into your talk and give it everything so that the impact is really, really felt by your audience, because we want you to have that freedom to move. I'm going to share with you a little anecdotal demonstration or example of when this came up. And I know some of you will know the lady I'm talking about, and I've had her permission to share this. She talks about it herself a lot as well. But I was working alongside Abigail Horn some years back when she first had Polly. And Polly is a little superstar who's about 2 or 3 years old now. And she'd literally just had Polly, and she was on the phone to me and she was saying, I've got to get up and I've got to speak on stage about authors and co, and I haven't got time to go and get anything else. So I was going to the event and up in Manchester, and I happened to not be able to tie her down because she was so crazy busy with work and with Polly. And she goes, it's fine, I've got a jumpsuit. And she described the jumpsuit to me, and I was like, that has the potential to go right, but it also has the potential to go wrong. And so I nipped over to the Trafford Centre the night before, and I just picked up a load of things that I knew would work really, really well with her. Colours and outfits and shapes that worked really well. I know from previous experience that when Abby takes to the stage, she likes to talk with her hands. She speaks really openly, and she needs that heart space. She needs that chest space to be open, to be able to move around. She just had a baby, so she was breastfeeding, and so she won't mind me saying it, her boobs were going up and down like no one's business. And so when she tried to put on a jumpsuit that was a low V-neck, it was tight on her because she was a couple of weeks out from having Polly. And so when I then put her into an outfit, it was another jumpsuit, but it was a higher neck jumpsuit that had a little cap sleeve on it. It allowed her to be able to take to that stage and actually be free of any restrictions and anything that was pulling or uncomfortable, and it allowed her the freedom to actually be able to talk. And one of the things that you can learn from that experience is don't leave it till last second like Abby did if you haven't got anyone to help you. Don't leave it till then to practice it. We're going to touch on it later on, but one of the biggest things you can do is get your outfit sorted early on and literally practice your talk in your outfit. Get into it so that when on the day you've actually visualized yourself in that outfit, you've felt yourself giving that talk in that outfit, you've worn the shoes, you've worn the underwear, you know if anything is not right before the day. The more that you can do this from an outfit perspective, the better. The more it will allow you to flow on the day. And I'm talking from experience as well as from a professional point of view. Okay, let's make sure this is sharing. Yes, okay. Okay, so let's next talk about style confidence. We all know when we're talking about confidence, it's all about the inside. It's all about from inside how confident you feel in that moment. Knowing your speech, knowing your talk inside out, practicing it is all going to help your confidence. When it comes to style confidence, it's about knowing what works for you, knowing what helps you talk without even speaking a word by communicating through your clothes will allow you another dimension of communication, but also it will allow you to be more you, more present, more impactful. With style confidence, it all comes with getting to know yourself. So be curious, go into your wardrobe, delve in there and decide and get to know and get curious about what it is that actually lights you up when it comes to clothing and your personal style. Do you have a personal style at the moment that you can pinpoint? Does anyone here already have a really good idea as to what their personal style is, or what style they're going to take to the stage with? Or are you thinking you want to go with a different style that maybe is a little more daring for you or a little louder for you? Who has any thoughts at all about what they're going to wear?
Does a bee costume count?
Yes.
Is that my personal
There
style?
always has to be a bee costume, doesn't there, Danny?
Some sort of costume. Prashi's saying I might come in my hoodie and my joggers. I know what I like and what's comfy, Michelle's saying. And I guess when it comes to your personal style, Shell, I know you're going to talk about this. It's about taking that and just amplifying it, isn't it? It's just turning the volume up on that a little bit. So don't worry if what you've got right now isn't like that's not suitable for stage. Like I wear comfy clothes, but I always wear flat shoes on stage, and I wear my headscarf. I'm sort of easily recognizable in terms of style with regards to, you know, often I'll wear blazers and pants, and but I'm always wearing flat shoes or fancy dress when I'm speaking, because I'm your hype guy, right? For you guys.
Yeah. So when you're taking to the stage, you want to take your personal style, what you would be comfortable going to a networking meeting in, or going and doing a meeting in if you're presenting about business, going to a nice social event or anything like that. And what you want to do is just amplify it that little bit more, just polish it that little bit more. So you're kind of taking a step up, because at the end of the day, you are on stage. People are going to be looking at you. So what you want to do is you want to be able to take your personal style, nail that first, know what your personal style. If it's joggers, for instance, and I did recently actually dress someone who is a personal trainer. They were talking about body confidence, and they asked me to help them sort out some outfits for them. And for them, it was actually wearing active wear, but it was polished active wear. So we took some joggers that were in really lovely silky material, and we dressed them up with a heel, and we dressed the tank top with some glitter and some sparkles on there. So you can take anything. You can take your personal style and you can just amplify it up a little bit. You can turn the volume up on it. And when you're on stage, you can afford to do that because you need to shine. And so it's having the confidence to do that. But there's no point, in my experience, going for a totally different style to what you are and who you are if that's not a style that you're comfortable with. That particular personal trainer, she hated wearing wide leg trousers and blazers and things like that. She was not comfortable in anything like that, but she was comfortable to get dressed up. So we combined using those materials in those shapes that she likes, just polished it off a little bit more. So let me just double check the chat to make sure that I'm not missing anything. Okay, Zoe says, comfy, not girly, a bit relaxed. I'm actually not that bothered by clothes. Flat shoes, yes, even though I'm only 5 foot. I'm only 4'11" and I'm always in flat shoes, so don't worry. It's comfort over everything. I've got used to wearing hoodies and trackies over the past couple of years. Hasn't everybody? Don't panic about that. One thing we always should take into consideration when you're up on stage is to make sure the fit is good. Make sure that you're fitting your body. So you always want to think about balance when it comes to the way your clothes fit. Because when you're up on stage, you are the center of attention, and you want to be able to stand there in the clothing and know that whoever's watching you, because whether we like it or not, we're human beings, you will be watched, you will be looked at, and you want the clothing that you're wearing to represent you. And so to polish it off, to give it that element of polish, it's not only choosing the fabrics that work and choosing the shapes that work, it's making sure that it's balanced. So for instance, If you are an hourglass, you want to make sure that you emphasize your waist. Now that could be wearing a belt and something that comes down like a V-neck. This is the ladies. I'll come on to gents in a moment. And then it flare out again. So you're maintaining that hourglass shape. If you're a pear shape or a triangle shape, and so you carry more weight around the hip and the tummy, then you want to add a little bit more volume at the top. So you want to wear either some bold jewelry or a tailored jacket or something that's going to draw the eye up and let the outfit kind of come alive at your shoulders, so that you can establish some boundaries, some balance between your top and your bottom, and emphasize your waist. For gents, it's the same thing. You want to work out whether or not you're balanced top and bottom, and you still want to give yourself that hourglass sort of shape. So if you've got broad shoulders, you'll want to make sure that your trouser is a good fit trouser and not too wide at the ankles, or you want to make sure that you've got a really good fitting trouser if you've got narrow shoulders, and a good tailored jacket or a good shirt that's open in with a decent collar. So it all depends on your style and how you want to represent it and how you want to present it. And it all depends on your body shape as to how you establish your balance. So if anyone's got any questions about balancing and how you establish that with different shapes or anything, throw them either in the chat or you can unmute yourself. I'm happy to answer any questions on that because that usually gets a few. I live in long shirt dresses, belts and Converse, love a jumpsuit, fab. Almost all the speakers in October were wearing Converse pumps with dresses. I think that's really brave.
We had a little joke amongst us, because here's the thing with the Impossible stage, it's worth mentioning, is that it's quite high and the ceiling's quite low. So if you're on that stage and you're wearing super high heels, unless you love and can't live without super high heels, I would avoid super high heels. If you are, I mean, Joanna, wear your heels, go all in, but I would maybe wear like a mid-height heel as opposed to like going all in on a spike, just because it might look a bit disproportionate. It's a funny venue in that the audience is sat right upon you and you're right above them. So the stage is here, the audience is here, and you're right there. So it's not like you've got the scope or space with regards to like heels. So just be aware, I guess. And the speakers that were on stage at the last Be Inspired, they didn't plan it, but they were all in like Converse type trainers and stuff. Don't hold back. You want to wear brogues, wear brogues. You want to wear, you want to wear trainers, wear trainers. You want to wear heels, wear heels. Don't think that, just because I'm saying like wear flats, it might not. You might feel powerful with a certain type of shoe on. Like go in on what makes you feel good. Like Sarah's saying, I might wear like a tailored dress. Go in, think about how you want to be representing your business. How do you want the aesthetic of your message to be received? Because whether we like it or not, aesthetic, as Shell was saying earlier, is a key communicative tool. So what do we want to be saying with that?
And remember, it's really important that you said that about the stage, because I was going to say exactly the same. I was going to double check with you that I was thinking of the right stage. You do need to think of these things whenever you're talking. So, and this is wider than just Be Inspired now. Whenever you are invited to speak somewhere, ask about the stage, ask about what room you've got to move around, especially if you are like me, you do talk with your hands, you do move about, you do use props and things like that. Think of these things as you're building your outfit, because you need to know if you're going to be bending down or anything. You'll need to know that if you've got a lower top on or a top that can move, you'll need to know whether or not you need to put a little bit of sticky tape in order to make sure that it doesn't move anywhere. Excuse me. You want to also remember that you need to bear in mind what colours you're going to have on your slides and what colours you're wearing. So you won't want to have totally clashing colours. You'll want to bear them in mind.
A perfect example of this is Dipti Solanki. She won't mind me saying this is something we talked about afterwards. So Dipti, her brand colours is this beautiful, deep purple colour. And she thought she was like repping properly she was wearing a beautiful, deep purple coloured dress. So, but by the time she stood in front, and you'll be, your slides are going to be huge behind you. Yeah. If your slide is the same color as the clothes that you're wearing, you're just going to be a face in front of your, you're going to kind of get lost in the melee. So Shell's dead right, allowing for contrast. That's a perfect example of, of almost like blending too far in. And we want to see you. We want spotlight on you.
Yeah. So it's about finding that balance between making sure that you are literally representing your brand and having something that ties in with your brand, but equally making sure that you don't blend in too much. So you want to be able to stand out. So what you want them to be looking at you and not so much at your slides. To be honest with you, the slides are more for you, so that you've got something there from personal experience. They're there to help you move through your talk, and you want the people in the room to actually be more concentrating on you as the person speaking than anything else. And if you blend too much in, then what happens is that you will end up getting the audience distracted. Sarah, if you want to talk, ask any questions, go ahead, no problem.
Sorry, it's just, so I'm a wheelchair user, and so I have different difficulties with finding the right fit. Have you ever had any kind of like assisting anyone like from a wheelchair perspective or anything like that? Because it would be good, maybe not necessarily during this time, but maybe afterwards, to kind of pick your brain a little bit.
Of course.
That's one of the reasons why I tend to go for the comfy, the comfy hoodies, the comfy trackies, because actually there's so many clothes that don't fit properly.
Oh, mate, I want to see you in sparkles. I want to see you with sequins. I want to be like a shiny disco ball on wheels. I'm so excited.
I might have my new chair by then, which would be really cool.
Can we bling it? Can we put diamantes on it? Oh God, don't! I'm getting excited.
But it's going to have purple spokes.
Honestly, Sarah, it's a case of adapting and polishing up what works for you this time, but definitely pick my brain. I've worked with people of all sorts of abilities, with physical, mental and emotional, like all sorts of sensory issues, all sorts of shapes, figures, sizes. So there are lots of things that I can share and give you tip-wise of things that can help and work for you, no problem at all, and how to adjust and adapt. So my background is in fashion design, so I actually know how I can look at a piece of clothing and dismantle it in my brain and redesign it and adjust it to help you. And we will actually go on, there's a few tips that I'll share with you later on around making sure that you're thinking about mic settings for when you're taking to the stage in future and things like that. So yeah, definitely pick my brain, no problem at all.
Perfect, thank you.
That's okay. Michelle, so I accidentally wore the same top on various national interviews over a few months as social media manager with filming. Yes, one of the things that is a really good idea to do is to keep a track of what you're wearing on different stages, and try and make sure that if you invest in any items, if you invest in a new dress or a new suit or a new top, that you literally look at it as, how can I wear this more than one way for the stage, for off the stage, etc. So that when you're having pictures, even if it is the same top, it's worn in a different way, or even if it's the same dress, it's worn in a different way with different accessories, a different jacket, worn with different hairstyles, etc. This then makes it a little bit easier for our social media managers to be able to show different images and able to keep that continuity without it looking like you did all the interviews all in one go, and took to the stage in exactly the same. We are going to cover that, Fiona. We're going to look at patterns in a moment. You really like the one, yeah. So with patterns like the one on here, it is all to do with your backgrounds and things like that. So as long as you haven't got polka dots in your slides or anything like that, you'll be okay. It does depend when you're being filmed with regards to what background and what lighting you've got, because you don't want to have anything. Just do me a favor, nobody wear like lime green at all, because I've had experience where a client has gone out and bought a lime green jacket, and then she wore that onto a filming, and then that lime green jacket in the green room, yes, it completely disappears.
Orb, yeah. Well, if you're on a green screen, but
yes.
if you're wearing that kind of really turned up neon in this particular situation, you'll just become a green orb.
Yes.
If you're wearing the neon.
Yeah, the lighting at the Impossible, you shouldn't have a problem with small or with bold patterns. But one thing you want to remember when you're actually doing anything that's on stage, if you're being filmed, you are better off going with block colors when it comes to how they will see you on stage and how it will come across in the videos. But if you do want to go for patterns, do it in a way like this picture does. So only part of it. Make sure there's a block color that is anchoring it, that gives you definition. That then helps you to be able to get away with the smaller, the daintier patterns or the bolder patterns. It still gives you the safety of the bolder and the more block elements that helps when doing filming, and helps if also if you're on a much bigger stage and you're further away, it helps your audience actually be able to see you much clearer.
I think the important thing to avoid, so I was going to say the important thing to avoid is stripes.
Yeah, that was what I was just about to say.
I thought you would. It's a bugger for like creating almost like shimmer on screen. It's really distracting, and it's difficult for cameras of certain qualities to pick up. So I'll shut up. I'm just excited. I love this one.
The other thing to remember is accessories. So when you're talking about confidence, we want to make sure that you've got the freedom to move, that you've got the freedom to kind of express yourself, speak freely. But if you're wearing a mic, you do need to remember that you need to make sure that it's not going to interfere with your mic. So if you're wearing a really bold necklace, make sure that it's not going to interfere with any lapel sort of mics that you're going to have. If you're having one around the face or from the ear to the face, it's not going to be a big problem. But if you're having anything that's too dangly, that could interfere with it. So always speak to the venue, always speak to like Danny to make sure that you know what sorts of mics you're going to be using.
I think they were Madonna mics last time. Was that they were headset mics, Anna? Can you remember?
Yeah, they were headset mics. I think Sandra from Gogglebox had a lot of jewelry, and didn't you end up giving her a microphone?
Yeah.
She just had too much jangle.
She had a lot going on. But yeah, the mics that you're going to be wearing are going to be, they're not like big Madonna mics at all. They're very sort of discreet like musical theatre mics. So they're flesh coloured. They'll come and sit just at the side of your cheek, just here, which means you'll have both hands free. When I say both hands free, you'll have a clicker in one hand for your slide deck. So you'll have something to do with one hand, and then you'll have another hand free to gesticulate.
There is a battery pack with those headsets, and although
Yeah.
it can be the man who'll wire you up, I mean, he loves his job. He gets to just wire up lots of people, women.
He's very respectful. He's very,
Yes,
very,
he
very
is.
respectful.
But you know, we can be creative where we can stick a battery pack. But it is
And we're going to go on to that.
Yeah.
There's some tips and tricks that I can share with you to bear in mind as you're building your outfit. Because it is important that you know that. So use this as your practice run of thinking about the questions that you need to bear in mind as you go forward, because Be Inspired is like a launch pad for you to go out on stage. You've done all this work, you're going to go and showcase this. You'll want it, I know from experience, once you've done it, I know the nerves are crazy this side of it, but once you've done it, 99.9% of every person that I have spoken to who's ever done it will say, I just want to do it again. So use this as an opportunity to kind of write down, make notes of the questions that you'll want to be asking the people that you're going to go on stage for in the future. Use this as an opportunity to kind of like make a note of anything that kind of passes you by on this occasion, to actually make a little note of it, so that when you're asked to speak again in the future, you go, okay, can you tell me about the stage? Can you tell me about the mics? Can you tell me about the battery pack? Because not only will it help you, but it actually will share that you're more professional. It'll show you as an experienced speaker, and it will boost your credibility no end. Okay. So let's talk about colours. We've already briefly spoken about colours, but you want to think about a few different things when it comes to going to stage. Whenever I speak to someone from a stylist point of view, when it comes to colours, we want to make sure that any colour that is anywhere near your face helps you shine, doesn't dim you down. So if you don't already know your colours, think about what colours have you always had compliments about. When you're wearing them, what colours do people say, oh gosh, you look amazing in that colour, or your eyes pop when you wear that colour. These colours are the colours that are really good because they make you shine. Because a colour can do two things. It can either make you shine and brighten you up and make you look mega healthy and glowing, or it can dim you down. It can actually add weight to you. It can give you the appearance of puffiness. It can give you the appearance of feeling poorly, looking poorly. You don't want that on stage. So if you know that certain colours don't always look great on you, then avoid them when it comes to looking on stage. If you know that certain colours work really well for you, try and see whether or not that would be appropriate for you to be wearing. You also, from a business point of view, need to bear in mind, like we said earlier, about the colours that are going to appear in your slides. Are they going to be clean white slides with added images like these ones are here? You can pick out different kind of anchor colors that you can use in your outfit, but it's not going to you're not going to disappear into the background. Or are your slides going to be full color? Are they going to be a blanket of color? And then you want to avoid that color when you're standing in front of them. You want to go for the opposite color of your brand colors or of your personal style colors, so that you stand out from your slides. So bear that in mind. The other thing you want to think about when it comes to color is you want to make sure that the color that you choose makes you happy. It might sound an oversimplistic point, but it's really, really important. Color has a huge effect on our mood. So when you're taken to the stage, when you're going out there to give your speech and you're nervous, and this is a big opportunity for you, it's a big experience for you, you want to make sure that when you look in the mirror that you are enjoying yourself and that you can see that joy, and choosing the right colors for you and choosing colors that make you happy, don't make you anxious, don't add anything negative to the mix, is important. So don't avoid looking at color. If color is something that is integrally you and you love big colors, then please wear color. Don't go for the dark, especially in the impossible. You want to wear color. Color works so beautifully on that stage, and it will help bring you out. But the lighter the color is near your face, the better when it comes to when you're out there on stage, you're being filmed, all of that. The darker the color is, especially if you don't work well with blacks or anything like that, the worse it's going to be, and the harder you're going to have to work with your makeup and your hair and everything like that, and the harder it's going to be to get the lighting right on you. So from a stylist point of view, go for the lighter colors, and go for colors that make you happy. But just keep in mind what colors are behind you on your slides. Just have that in mind and make sure you're not going to clash too much or do what Dipsy did.
Just FYI on the lighting. The lighting is going to be pretty standard lighting. The lights are relatively low out in the audience. On you, it's going to be sort of a yellow-white wash. So a wash is, we're not going to be like, there's not lots of like disco lights going on or anything like that. We have got some moving lights when you're walking on and off stage, for when things are a bit mental. They'll play the lights a little bit when people are partying, but actually when you're on stage, it's your space. The light is it's not a yellow whitewash, actually it's a blue whitewash.
Blue whitewash, right?
So it's designed not to be draining. The room itself, the lighting in the room itself, it's got lots of like low hanging yellow lanterns. So it's quite a warm light in there. So just FYI in terms of the lighting. So on stage, so you can see the kind of lighting that I have right now. That's the kind, it's I can't really show you without having to get up.
It's a nice bright color. It's gonna show your colors off.
Yeah.
It's not gonna drain you out. So use color.
Sarah, you'll be fine with that. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt then.
No, that's all right. Use color. It's good for you.
Yeah.
I was thinking scarlet or coral dress be okay. Yeah. Coral or coral would look lovely on you. Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, Jo Swan wore scarlet. She wore scarlet pants and a white slogan t-shirt when she was on the stage. Other people have worn coral. It works really well, and obviously, like Shell said, from a stylist point of view, you look hot.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk patterns. Jump back to patterns now. The things, like we said earlier, stripes. Stripes are a really, really difficult one. To be honest with you, all this top row here are danger patterns.
Danger
patterns. The reason, like Danny explained earlier, is it makes it really difficult for any of the cameras to actually put it into shot. It has the potential to literally run over and not be able to pick you out perfectly. And you don't want that. You're having your pictures taken, you're being filmed. You want to make the most of this experience. So when it comes to very organized and repetitive patterns like these three at the top, they have the potential to actually overspill and not be great on camera. So when you're thinking about pattern, if you do want to have a pattern, you want to go for things that are not so repetitive and not so structured. So this is why I put these two down here. But even with these, you want to be careful with them. You don't want it to be head to toe without any definition. I had one speaker who had to take to the stage, and she wore a very a leopard print dress, but instead she forgot her belt, and instead of wearing a solid coloured belt like we do, or what like we'd planned, she had to wear the leopard print belt, and that unfortunately made the dress not stand out and not have the impact that she was desiring. So this is another reason why I say practice your speech, practice putting the outfit together, wearing the outfit, trying it out, have a picture taken in the outfit, be able to see yourself not only in the mirror, but have a picture taken in the outfit so that you can say to me or to Danny or to Anna, does this look visibly balanced? Does it stand out enough? Is it going to have enough impact? It's a really good practice for everyone to get comfortable with.
Just pop these in the chat if you've found an outfit you're like, I think this is the one. Like pop it in the chat if you're unsure. But breaking, like Shell said, breaking these up with a belt works really, really well.
Yeah. So Michelle, if you've got a leopard print dress, it's not a problem. You can wear a leopard print dress. I would add something that will give it that in and out, that it's called definition, and it gives you a block of definition. So add a belt in there that's a contrasting color so that it will stand out. So you can go for a solid brown belt, or you can go for a solid black belt, or even a colored belt. Remember, with leopard print is now classed as almost like a basic, a foundational one. So it goes along the lines of nudes and whites and greys and all of that. So you can add color and add a little contrast there, and it would look amazing, and it will really give it that edge to give a little bit of a belt there with a contrasting color. So have a think about that. But I'll give you the details so that if you want to run it past me, or you want to have my eye kind of cast over it, I'm more than happy to do that later on.
Thank you.
It's not a problem. You're welcome. It's a color dress, but got you. Perfect. I have a few wanting to wear one, but don't know how to put it in here. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, so Anna's right. There was lots of people. I know in our group, Anna, when I was doing it, everyone was putting in different was in the groups sharing different outfits, and I'm more than happy to do what I did with everybody in my group and give feedback and support in any way that I can. Okay. Things to avoid and things to think about. Logos. When you're going on stage, if you've got a logo that's not your logo, so if you're taking the stage and you're wearing your merchandise, then that's not such a problem. But if you're going to the stage and you're going to wear something that's got logos all over it and it's not your logo, one, it can cause you a problem when you're having your pictures taken, or if you're being filmed or anything like that. I have seen it cause problems in the past, where certain companies won't allow you to have it. But also it detracts from what you're wearing. So if the logo doesn't go with your business and doesn't go with you, then you're basically advertising somebody else's gear. And so you want to make sure that the focus is on you and your talk, not on the logo. So try and avoid logos. They distract your audience in the wrong sort of way. When it comes to brand new shoes, I want to encourage you to not wear brand new shoes. But if you do need to invest in a pair of shoes, do what the Queen does. I want you to get a thick pair of socks, and I want you to practice doing your talk in the shoes, in thick socks, and I want you to wear those little buggers in, because I promise you, you do not want to be in brand new shoes on that stage. You don't want to be getting all nervous and waiting to go on stage in shoes that are rubbing or giving you blisters or pinching. Anything like that can really put you off what you're doing. So if you can, wear a pair of shoes that you already have and that you're comfortable in. If you need to buy a new pair of shoes, if you're going to wear a shoe that you've not worn that much or haven't broken in, do yourself a favor. We're 7 weeks out. Leave it no longer than 4 weeks out. Make sure that you're breaking them in. Just wearing them with a pair of thick socks for 10 minutes a day, just walking around the house or walking around the garden, is plenty to actually break it in. After a couple of weeks, you'll be fine. But try wearing them as much as possible, because it'll make such a difference. When it comes to doing your speech and your talk, practice with the full outfit. I'll say it again later on, but do a dress rehearsal. Make sure you're practicing wearing those shoes, because it will be a real anchor for you to actually feel how you're going to feel, because you're going to be standing there or you're going to be up on your feet most of the time. So you want to be able to walk across the stage in comfort, but also with confidence. Feel how it feels to say your speech, to say your talk, give your presentation in those shoes, because you'll know whether or not you wobble on the heel, or whether or not you need to move back on your heels or move forward on your tippy toes at different points in your talk, and it will become more fluid and more comfortable and more impactful, because your confidence will be sky high. It sounds like a really simple thing, but honestly, these little simple touches do make a huge difference. As we said, too much jewelry, try and avoid it. Have staple, impactful pieces, yes. Have things that work really well, but don't wear too much, because it will all bangle, jingle against you, and it will be picked up by the mic, and then you may have a problem with your recording, and we want to avoid that at any cost. So these are the secrets that I referred to a little earlier. So there's a few different things that I always recommend. One of the things is underwear and shapewear. I'm not asking you to wear shapewear to actually change your body shape. It's nothing to do with it. The reason I always recommend to all of my speakers, I'm talking about ladies mainly here, Tommy, but men, I would definitely recommend you make sure that you do have, if you're wearing suits or you're wearing anything that doesn't have a belt, if you don't have a place like on your trousers for a belt, that you're wearing good sturdy undies that have a good waistband on them, because you'll need it. But ladies, shapewear, when it comes to speakers, this is something that I learned when I was working in theatres and working with a lot of people who were going out and singing on stage. Shapewear is a really good piece of foundation wear that doesn't need to be mega tight or anything like that and uncomfortable, but it actually gives you an added layer that means that whatever you're wearing over the top doesn't have to be distorted by that battery pack that Anna was talking about earlier being fitted onto your back. So if you're not wearing a belt or you're not wearing anything that the battery pack can hold on to, what tends to happen is that it's put somewhere and then the whole of your top or dress can be dragged down the back, or the dress can be distorted in places because they have to put it on the back of your bra or on the back of your knickers, and it can be uncomfortable. It can feel like your underwear is pulling on you and so misshaping you. So one of the things that a lot of performers have is they have shapewear, because shapewear is that much more sturdy and has that much more elastine in it. They have a piece like a bodysuit that they'll wear under their dress or under their outfit that the battery pack can then be fitted to. That then allows them the confidence that that battery pack can be put on that. It's not going to distort your dress. It's not going to distort your blouse or your top. It's not going to pull down on your trousers or anything like that. If you're speaking on lots of occasions and you're taken to the stage on a regular occasion, what I've done with other speakers is I've actually had little pockets put into that shapewear, sewn into it to give a little pocket for a battery pack to be put into. So you can invest in a good piece of underwear like a shapewear. It doesn't have to be uncomfortable. You can wear your own bra with lots of the shapewears. They can just be the bodysuit that goes up underneath your bra, and you can wear your own bra so that it fits perfectly. But it just gives you that added security for your battery pack, which can make a huge amount of difference for your comfort and also your confidence when you're taken to the stage. So bear that in mind. Think about what you're going to be wearing. I always, when I'm working with speakers and we're building wardrobes of outfits that they can have, that they can use repeatedly on stage, we usually recommend that they have one nude and one black and one white bodysuit, but usually a nude and a black one is suffice. And that allows them the confidence to know whatever they're going to be wearing, they've got that there. So if they do end up needing a battery pack, that they will always have something that the battery pack can be put onto that is the least intrusive and also the least distracting for them, and when it comes to distorting their outfit. I hope that makes sense. Does anyone have any questions around that?
Yeah, there's nothing worse than say like wearing a dress or wearing an outfit whereby you're going around with your battery pack on your neck and it's pulling, because your body, you know what I was saying to you the other day, guys, about standing up in your talk, your body or you know, having your body in the way that it will be when you are doing your talk, if that changes when you get on stage by having things pulling at you, your body's going to be thinking about that thing as opposed to thinking about being in flow and thinking about you know, what it is that you want to say and your reaction to the audience and the reading the audience. You really want to be in the room and not be being distracted. So really do give it some consideration. It does pay dividends. And these are the really tiny little things that we don't think about, you know, when we sign up for these things and when we, you know, when we get into speaking in the first place.
Can I ask something?
Of course you can.
So honestly, last Thursday, I really thought I'd been stabbed, and it was my underwear. So I was at an event, like black tie event. I had a long dress on and I had a waist cincher because the dressmaker told me to wear this. And then I had one of them slips where you wear your own bra. And then when I was dancing, I knocked Bella's drink out of her hand. So a wine glass dropped in half. I bent to pick it up. And honest to God, I felt like I'd been stabbed. I stumbled off. I tried to take the pain. Then I stumbled off as if I'd been stabbed. Nobody took any notice either, which was worrying. And then I felt sick. It was so painful that I actually felt sick and I had to go to the toilet and be sick. I felt sick all night. And that was from the shapewear. So I just vouched that I can never wear it again. And it was a size 20.
Okay. So when it comes
if I wear like a sleep, because if I could show you the picture, Danny said it was maybe a bit busy, but this was what I was intending to wear. So could I like do something round the back so that it could attach to that? Is that because it is a skirt and top?
Okay. So if you can't, I can see it. If you can't bear the shapewear, I am not advocating for you to wear a type of shapewear that is going to actually restrict you. When I talk shapewear, I mean the shapewear it's there to.
But this was just normal shapewear. It wasn't like a corset that you put in. It felt okay.
It does it to me, Joanna, when I'm speaking.
But then when I bent down, I swear to God, it kind of like put a bit of a blight on the evening because I felt sick all evening. It wasn't from the drink.
Was it a firm control or light control?
Yeah, it was firmish. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I would differ. If you can find a bodysuit that is a similar sort of material at the back, so gives you, with the shapewear, they have that, there's a band around the back that stops it from slipping and holds it in place. Yeah. That's the part of the shapewear that we're really looking for.
Okay.
So you can find a really light control. It doesn't have to hold you in or change your shape or anything like that. If you can find a bodysuit that can give you just so that it so that it doesn't move, because you don't want it to move. That's the aim of the game, is to find something that stops it from moving up and down. If you can't do that, then the biggest advice I would give you is make sure you've got a bra that has got a really thick back on it, and a really secure thick back that has a little give in it, so that they can go onto that, because that will be.
Sorry, I was just going to say, that piece that you were just showing there, is that a dress or is that a two-piece?
The two-piece.
Then it will go on the waistband, the back of the waistband of your.
Quite a slinky, so it's like a wrap skirt though, So I was just thinking it might pull it.
Oh, right, I see.
What do you think about it? What does that outfit seem like?
That outfit looked lovely from what I could see, because it's only a little screen, but that outfit looked lovely. I liked the way that it's got the V, and I liked the contrast of the patterns. Wasn't too small, and it wasn't going to wash out or anything like that. And for your colouring, I do have another dress that's brand colours, but I just quite liked that, and I thought I might. It's a never fully dressed one, they're so they're I know the one, aren't they? Yeah. So the best thing for you to think about underneath that is that you want to have some sort of foundation that has enough hold to be able to hold it there. And that's why I always recommend a bodysuit of some sort. You don't have to, it doesn't need to be a firm one to hold everything in or anything like that or change it. The aim of it is to have that band round the back that allows you that. But if it's got a bottom to it, because it's a wrap skirt, you'll have the give in it. It's just making sure that it's secured in such a way that it isn't going to let go with the weight of the battery pack. That would be my only concern. So the other thing that you can consider is wearing a firm control knicker or something like that, but then that's going to add. Honestly, I can't. It's so mental. I'm like, what an absolute drama queen, but honest to God. You're not a drama queen, honestly.
I won't worry, it'll go on your bra strap.
Yeah. I was just thinking also you could maybe like just put an elasticated belt underneath.
I don't even think it'll need that. I don't think it'll need that. I think you'll be all right.
I think I think as long as you've got a decent bra that it can clip onto and that it's nice and firm, you'll be fine.
The battery packs aren't that heavy. They're not like big Annika Rice type things like back in the day. They're only like
usually big. About that big, aren't they?
Yeah, they're not super heavy.
No. So the next
Gaffer, take the battery pack to your bum.
So the next little secret that we have is that I want to share with you is shoulder pads and belts. So when you're up on stage, when you're appearing on camera as well, you want to make sure, like I said earlier on, that you have definition to your shape so that whoever is watching, whether they're really close to you or whether they're way back in the back or whether they're watching you on stage via camera, you want them to be able to define you. And so we need to make sure that we've got balance. Now, sometimes if we've got narrow shoulders and wider hips, shoulder pads can be really great for just adding a little bit of definition. If you don't want to wear a jacket or a blazer or anything like that, just a little tiny shoulder pad can just give you just a little bit extra definition to just give you that little bit of extra balance. Or a belt can help you make sure that you've got that waist definition that then allows the top and the bottom to be balanced. So if you're wearing a dress, a little belt can sometimes help to be able to split things up if it's all the same color or pattern, and it can help you with definition. If you're wearing a really lovely soft blouse with a tailored trouser, then a shoulder pad just gives that little bit of extra shape that then gives you that definition, that silhouette that we're looking for on actual stage. Does that make sense? Yeah, perfect. And dress rehearsal, I've said it a million times already, but I swear by this, and I really, really encourage you to do it. Make sure that you do at least one full dress rehearsal. I'm not saying you necessarily need to do the full hair and makeup completely, but do your hair and your makeup to a certain extent, and make sure that you run through the whole of the practice run in the full outfit and treat it as though it's a proper dress rehearsal. I know for us, we literally went live. I don't know if you're still doing that, Danny, but going live into the group and actually doing the practice run. Do that in your dress rehearsal. Get dressed up and do that. It's an amazing practice. It allows you to feel into what you're saying and actually feel what it's going to be like to actually say it in the clothes you're going to be wearing, in the shoes you're going to be wearing, in the jewelry. You'll learn whether or not the top pulls or the dress feels too tight, or whether the jewelry jangles too much. You'll really learn so much from doing it. My experience is do a few of them. So do that dress rehearsal, do that practice run, but then do it again a couple of weeks later. I always recommend, if it's a new outfit that a client is using, if it's a new stage, if it's their first speaking event or anything like that, or like I've had quite a few speakers come back after not speaking on stage for a couple of years because of all the different things. The one thing that is constant on my recommendation is that they get into these outfits and they practice their talks in the outfits so that they get that feeling of being able to practice as much as possible, but also feel the practice. We all have to get out of our heads and into our bodies when it comes to taking to the stage, because if you stay in your head too much, it becomes harder. So getting into your body by actually wearing the clothes that you're going to be wearing when you take to that stage really helps to build your confidence, not only in your talk, but in your stage presence. It allows you to really be able to take to that stage with so much more confidence. And also you can tweak it. So if something's not feeling right, you can go and try the Converse on and see if that feels better to be able to do it. You can go and try a different heel on and see if that works better. You can change your top, you can change your outfit. Whereas if you don't do that dress rehearsal and you turn up and you put that outfit on, you're risking not knowing how it's going to perform on that stage and how you're going to perform in it. So it's especially for you guys, this is a big opportunity for you. This is like an essential step. I know Danny will definitely back me up on that one. Excuse me. Self-care and self-love. I will shout this from the rooftop. Man, woman, child, no matter who you are, when it comes to taking to the stage, take care of yourself, especially in that last 7 to 10 days before you get on stage. So for you guys, in 6 weeks' time, I want it in your diary. I want you to be ramping up that self-care and that self-love. I want you to be making sure that you're drinking enough so that when you take to that stage, you look vibrant, you feel vibrant, you're all hydrated. Because when we don't drink enough, it shows on our face, it shows on our skin, it makes makeup really hard for you to control. It makes you feel sluggish, your memory goes. So much when it comes to self-care. Make sure you're getting as much sleep as possible. Do the practice now so that in that week, you can really, really rest, replenish, and you can really take care of yourself, because you will be all the better for it when it comes to taking to that stage. It is something that I absolutely swear by. I know Danny swears by. Anna will tell you every single group that I've spoken to, I've said it to, and she's been there all the way through all of the different groups. She'll say, Danny always says it, and I always say it. Self-care, self-love in that last week is essential. In that, make sure you're taking care of the finishing touches. When we're talking about taking to that stage, we've already spoken about you needing to be that little bit more polished. So think of the little things. Think about making sure that you've had your hair cut recently, that you have your nails done. You don't have to have nail extensions or anything fancy, but a nice pedicure and manicure, if you're going to be showing off your toes or anything like that, you'll feel better for it. Make sure you think of all these little things, because otherwise they can really tear you apart when it comes to your nerves, because your nerves will go to that little thing that will aggravate you and irritate you. So think of all these things, make a list of it now so that you can use it as self-care and self-love in that process of getting ready. I had a long list. I had my nails had to be done. I wanted my hair done like right in the last minute because I have it short. I went and had a tan done. I went and had a massage. Do all these things. Take care of yourself, because you will benefit from it, but your performance will benefit from it as well. Would you agree, Danny?
I'm talking, I'm on mute. 100%. And that looking after yourself in that final week beforehand is probably one of the best things that you can do. There's nothing worse than sliding in at the finish line with any of these things, which is why we have this session to be thinking about it now, get them done, start having a look, start ordering things so you can send them back in time, all of that sort of stuff. But looking after yourself that week, being hydrated and all of that will help you, you know, for those of you that are having makeup done, for example, really helps just your overall, how you feel and how you look and how you carry yourself. And that equals style anyway. We've just got to be a little bit mindful of time, Shell. We're just about 20 minutes over.
Okay, perfect. Sorry, everybody.
No, it's been amazing. It's been amazing.
I try and pack as much as I possibly can in there. Have fun. That's the only thing that I want you to worry about on the day, is having fun. Do all of this in advance, and I promise you, then you will be able to have fun on the night, on the day. If I can help and support, I'm at Shell Shocker across all the socials. Anna's got all my details. Danny's got all my details. I'm more than happy to help anyone at Be Inspired. So please, I hope you'll take something from it and have fun. Enjoy it. This is an amazing opportunity, and I know you're going to absolutely knock it out the park, all of you.
And they are all amazing, as are you. And if you do want to get in touch with Shell, at Shell Show across the socials, you'll be able to find her, get in touch, drop her a little DM. But Shell, as ever, thank you for being such a support on the Be Inspired journey. This is one of my favorite sessions, because it all starts to kind of be a bit real now when we start to move from the kind of the abstract into the actual, when we start to discuss kind of what we're wearing. So I hope you've all enjoyed it this evening. Shell, thank you for your time. For anybody that needs any additional assistance, please drop Anna an email and we can get you all sorted. I think Joanna, you're going to stay on. We're going to get you sorted for your affiliate link and get the things that you need. And get you all supported where you need. Anybody else? Does anybody need me for anything while you're on the call tonight? We're all right. You're all like that. Fucking hell, Dan. It's a long day today. I've been at it since 5 o'clock this morning as well. So like, I am totally feeling you. The energy just before you all go, and me and Sarah were talking about this today on our one-to-one, your energy will move like this. So for some people, your wobble week will be this week or next week. Other people, you might have already had your wobble week. Your wobble week is in the post if you've not had one already. Don't worry, because the following week you'll feel absolutely elated and fired up and you won't be able to wait to do it. And you will carry on that pattern until we get to the event itself. So just trust the ride, hold on tight. My emails are open. Well, my emails aren't open. My DMs are open. You're more likely to get in touch with me via my DMs. Anna's DMs are open. And her email is definitely open to get booked in for anybody who needs to see me sooner rather than later. I've said this once, I've said this before, I will say this again. You are my absolute priority. So if you need support, shout up. I don't know if you're not talking to me. There's lots of you and I can't keep just checking in with you all individually. Come and get me. I'm here for you and I will make time for you. All right, my darlings? Have a lovely evening. Go and get snuggled up and I will see you all next Wednesday if I don't see you before in a one-to-one. I love you.